Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Sovereign Society podcast. It's been since March since I've been with you. I'm your host, Sabrina Riccio, and it feels good to be back. I needed this time to just navigate through this crazy clusterfuck that's been a quarantined world. And while some people have some beliefs about what's going on, others have others. Some have shut down, some are feeling activated. My friend Michael was at my house the other day and he made this really good point. It's like, more than we're all in this together, we're all on different ships navigating through these uncharted waters. And that really hit me when he shared that. Because all of us are navigating through this and all having different experiences based on where we are, based on how much work we've done, based on our own critical thinking, our own boundaries, our own discernment. Remember when I told you guys like last year with the podcast that 2020 was going to be the year of crystal vision? Did not think it was going to go down like this, but all the truth is being exposed right now. And some people can handle it and others can't. And I know where I've been is like Monday marked the 9-year anniversary of me becoming a journalist. And I became a journalist because I was tired of what the mainstream media was portraying with the house music community that helped me overcome suicide and depression, calling us all like the drug abusing youth. And honestly, it was so much more than that. And a lot of people, not everyone was on something, and I wanted to expose the truth of my community. And here I am now, a journalist still speaking truth. And I'm excited because next week, I'm talking about the reptilians, which is going to be potent because this is all about, some people are hearing or may have never heard of the reptilians, but these are lower dimensional beings that are still lingering. It's attacking us through our traumas and our pains, through our reptilian brains. So you're going to be learning more about that next week. And right now I'm in the middle of hosting my Activate Your Medicine free training. And people have been really having big breakthroughs with that, which has been a blessing. Because while I'm shifting my whole brand and everything to be focusing more on business and brand development and really helping people rebirth their brand so it's aligned to their truth, not what everyone else in the industry is doing it's like, what can you do that makes you you? And this is what's really fueling me right now, because it just has made me really sick to my stomach to see people like Jeff Bezos making $13 billion in a day with Amazon. And then there's mom and pops that can't reopen, and my family got affected from the COVID outbreak where we had to close our restaurant and we're not reopening it. And that was a shitty feel, but a lot of what's happening right now is we're all being activated to really show up and step up unlike ever before. And it's been really challenging to see so many of my close friends that I've worked in the fashion industry or in the entertainment industry, in the festival world, not have anything. And my heart's been going out to them. And if you're listening, my heart's with you. I feel you. And I also know that there's a purpose to this. This is the reset for us to do the deeper work, to really prepare for what's continuing on with the rest of this in and what's to come, because all the astrologers will tell you up until 2022 it's going to be potent. In America, we're in the process of experiencing that Pluto return from when the United States became a country, which is why all the deep underground, underworld shit is coming up to the surface of what we will and will not take. I see this as like this country's pubescent years. Like, this is how the country is going through puberty right now. And of course, it's challenging and it's testy, and there's truth being exposed, being called conspiracies when there's evidence. There's also like memes that are going around that that's where people are getting their information from, not doing their research. And I just feel this whole thing, remember my last episode was all about the medicine of coronavirus. I believe this whole thing has just been an awakening into our true sovereign power. And here we are, the sovereign society, right? And my whole drive is to help you get to the space where you are in your full power. And we get there the more we do the deeper work. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to be talking more about, the truth of what's going on with the manipulation in the coaching industry that I've been witnessing, because I became a coach back in 2013 before everyone was becoming a coach. Just like I started this podcast in 2016 before everyone had a podcast, being ahead of the times and being that early adopter and watching, and stepping away. I think also because I don't live in LA and I live in a pretty quiet place and I'm not in that energy, and places like LA are being hit so hard right now, especially areas like Santa Monica, with what's going on. My heart's just been feeling for Portland. It's been feeling for Seattle, Minneapolis. This has just been, it's been challenging to even get back on and do this podcast, because just trying to wrap my head around like what the fuck is actually going on, while at the same time recognizing and witnessing that this was everything I saw unfolding 8 years ago. But I was like, how is this even real? Like, I couldn't believe it. And here it is. So all in all, with what's unfolding, we had to really just continue to practice that discernment. We got to continue to just stay the course and stay focused on the things that light us up, the things that fuel us most, the things that we're good at, and really coming up with that concrete plan to take action. And this is the time for us to step into our purpose. This is the time for us to be embodied in our truth. And there is no room for playing small, because literally we came here during these times for a mission and for a purpose, and we're going to get through this. And we don't have to do this alone. And this is why I value community. This is why I honor people for exposing where they're at and sharing their truth, sharing their story, sharing their journey and their gifts. And it's interesting because I was researching a lot and have been really diving in deeper. And I came across this thing from Stephen King. And everyone knows Stephen King, the author, and he was this philosopher and just like really on top of his shit. Like, he knew until the day he died, he was just exposing truth. And something that he said that really hit me was that the Mayans may have also miscalculated 2012, and that this is the apocalyptic time, which is where the changing and the Great Awakening is happening. And I'm definitely part of that first wave of the ascension that happened in 2012. And now that 2020 from 2012 is 8 years, since new DNA, all new cells in the body. And I do feel like those of us that got the big kick in the ass in 2012, we're the ones that are helping guide the next wave of people that are waking up. And I'm seeing that a lot of the people that are having like the biggest challenges are the ones that it's time for them to start putting in the work. And that's why I'm bringing back Thrive and stepping forward and really making it affordable, because a lot of people got hit from COVID. And I'm offering this program, which is well over $2,000 for $497 right now. And the doors are closing on the 16th of August, because I just want to see people really be embodied in their truth and really awaken that sacred disruptor within. We got to keep doing this deeper work. And it's just been really fascinating to see the amount of fear that's been infiltrating our collective. And I've been seeing that the people that have been attacking me the most, especially on Facebook, which has been such a, it's like a battlefield is what it feels like. And I've been studying, I have my degree in marketing. I've been studying this shit for 14 years, but Facebook is such a battleground. And the ones that are attacking me the most are the ones that still have a lot of trauma and pain to work at. That's just been my own analysis and my own, just navigating through that and feeling through that. That's what I've been witnessing. And so, of course, I have compassion. Of course, I have mercy for them. And I just pray that they start to devote themselves to do the deeper work, to dive within and to heal those wounds and those traumas, because that fear that's being navigated through this collective right now, that fear is coming because they feel unsafe. That feeling of feeling unsafe comes from severe subconscious programming and deep-rooted inner child trauma that's been unprocessed. And everyone knows how passionate I am about inner child work. And when I look back and think of like when I was a kid, what I wanted to be was a pediatrician. It's like what I wanted to do. I also have in my astrology a lot of my planets in the 5th house family. To me, like, I come from a big Italian family. A lot of trauma I had from inner child. Those are all the pieces I've put together to understand what my purpose is. And it's funny because today's the day of my free training, Activate Your Medicine, where I talk about how you can start to put the pieces together to discover your soul's mission and purpose. And so looking back on the things that fueled me up when I was younger, seeing the amount of trauma I've had to navigate through, and stepping up to help other people heal their inner child and be that sacred disruptor in their lineage. It just reminds me that all the trauma and all the shit I went through at a young age, there's a purpose for it. And this is where I can be more compassionate for other people. And this is where I can help guide people, hold the space. Once I've been able to heal that with my nervous system, I'm able to hold the space. And before COVID, my intention was to finish writing my book. But then how could you have ignored what's been going on? Like, I thought that book was going to be done in April. Think about what happened in April, May, June, July. Like, that in itself is like a novel, if not two, of what's been going on. And right now, the bigger things that need to be addressed and exposed are, of course, we're talking still about the police brutality. We're still talking about the racial injustice. And what's not spoken about enough is the child trafficking that's been going on. And I just pray for these children. And I pray for those that were victims of child trafficking. And I just pray that they have the power and the strength to help guide and bring in more awareness and educate the people on how we can start taking initiative. But to me, I think it's the biggest pandemic in the world that we're navigating through is this human trafficking. And unfortunately, there aren't enough people, let alone in this industry, that are speaking up on it. I do think that with what's going on, there's no more room for bullshit and there's no more room for playing small. And there's no more space to really ignore this. Like, the true leaders are going to be the ones that have that courage to expose and speak the truth on something that they may be criticized or attacked for. But when you show up and you really stand with integrity, there's nothing outside of you, no one out there that can steer you away. And when that integrity and truth is coming from genuine compassion and mercy and love for other people, And it's not an ego drive, but it's true love for the evolution of humanity. Those are the people that will succeed, and those are the people that will be supported, without a doubt. And we have to remember this. We have to look at this and start speaking up and using our platforms to be part of the solution. And that's why I'm excited to be shifting more of my work into brand and business development. I studied business. I have my degree in business and marketing and sociology. So I've been researching this. Again, I'm a certified life coach. I'm a certified business coach. I've done tons of trainings, Kundalini yoga teacher training. All of those pieces have brought me to this moment on how I can serve and show up, because I want you to just understand this. We need to put the pieces together and start to grasp, like, what is the reality we're here to co-create? And how are we going to show up and be of service? How are we going to answer the call and take that leap of faith with courage and that integrity to really activate the golden era and shift into that new paradigm? Because we're just purging out, closing the chapters, cleaning it up. Beautiful door closing to the Piscean age from all of this. And while, none of us expected this to unfold the way it has, imagine how beautiful it's going to be to look back and see how strong you were. Imagine how beautiful it's going to be for you to really see how far you've come. And a crazy story to tell your future children and your grandkids. Like, have a seat. Let me tell you about fucking 2020. And I don't know. We just have to start counting the blessings. We need to be kind to one another. And we really need to unify during these times. We were doing really well when the Black Lives Matter came through and tens of thousands of people were protesting on the streets, respecting one another. Like, wow, that was such a beautiful time to see people come together. And then during the spiritual war we're navigating through, God, it's just like, it just keeps going, right? But eventually there will be a winner, and the light always wins. So we need to make sure that that light is pure and that light is with integrity and in alignment to truth and compassion. And there's a lot of false light going around. I've talked about this on episodes in the past. The love and light, good vibes only, people who have literally sold their soul to fame. And I remember I'm like getting to this part in writing my book, and there's definitely been resistance because it's like shit that I really need to face. And luckily I wrote it like 8 years ago, like the week after I got struck by lightning. So I'm glad I have a first draft. But I remember when I wrote that article, starting to talk about what I was witnessing in 2012 with the manipulation happening through politics and the year of the election and what have you, and how there was a lot of mind control happening at festivals. I saw it. Like, I fucking saw it. And then the next week I got struck by lightning. At that time, like, I pretty much sold my soul to the dance floor. And with that, there was a lot of that manipulation happening at these festivals. And while there hasn't been a festival or anything this year, really, I do find that it's been a blessing at the same time, because a lot of my community, including myself, like, nervous systems are being reset. And when we get back on that dance floor, it's going to be so glorious and beautiful. But there's a lot of people, celebrities or whatever, that have sold their souls to, to gain that fame. And they forget why they're doing this work, right? Like, if you're only doing this work to become famous, you're part of the problem. You need to be doing this work to be part of the solution. And if you have the blessing of a strong platform and you're considered a premium brand in your business, have the courage to speak up and use your money, your time, your resources, your energy to focus on the solution, focus on those that are in need the most, right? What's the legacy you're here to leave behind through your work, through your passions? And that's something that I'm thinking about so much, and that's why I'm really focusing my energy more on branding and business, is because I want to cultivate conscious capitalism. I want to see a lot of good people making good money, doing great things in the world. And from that space, how can we really be part of the solution with, helping clean water, helping people in developing countries? I just think of like all these little girls in like Nigeria and third world countries or developing countries that once they get their moon and they don't have the resources to buy feminine products, like how amazing would it be to see companies that have like period underwear or like a diva cup or whatever, but for every one that's purchased, it goes to someone in need. Those are the things that I'm really striving to help activate and see in my reality. And I'm excited for that because I'm really good at branding and I'm really good at marketing and I'm really passionate about helping people with tell a story through their brands. And that's what I've been doing here. Everyone knows me as the one who's passionate about politics or the one who's speaking up about psychedelics or mental health. And it's also been very tolling with the current landscape. Oh my gosh, even today I didn't think, as I record this, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything because what's going on in the world as an empath, super sensitive and so connected to what's going on, it kicked my ass, let alone starting my moon and being late with that. It kicked my ass. But at the same time, I know the importance of slowing down, chilling out, even if it means just like laying on the couch with Bud, right? These are the things that we need to also really focus on during these times, is how are we choosing to take care of ourselves, our mental health, our well-being? Where are our boundaries, our non-negotiables? And how are we choosing to fill our cups so that we can really go out there and be of service? And that's what I really want you to think about. How are you choosing to really do you during these times? Because we still are going through a pandemic. And I talked to all of my Soul Squad members and all of us who are at this industry, and we're just like, fuck, we thought we had like all these plans for what we were going to do with our work and stuff, and everything is just plans. What plans? You know what I mean? It's just been so many other things coming up that we're addressing and hitting head on so that we can alchemize it. And a part of that's beautiful because it's part of trusting the process as well. And just knowing that when you are listening to what it is that you're here to do, your success will be inevitable if you just keep going and stay focused and stay on track. And that's the big thing I just really want you to do. So I invite you to really start thinking about what's inspiring you right now with what's going on in the world. How do you see yourself really contributing to the evolution of humanity, of your community, of yourself, of your family? And how are you taking time for yourself? How are you checking in on your friends and your loved ones? How are you keeping your space tidy? And if you're finding yourself like really depressed and really down, are you asking for help? Are you getting that support? Are you allowing yourself to get vulnerable with what you're navigating through and sharing from that space? That's a huge step of self-respect and self-worth, is asking for that help. And again, this Aquarian age is about community and collaboration and cooperation. You don't have to do this alone. The lone wolf days are over. And while I definitely believe that there's a purpose and a timing to go into that hermit mode and reevaluate and reassess, there's also that time to ask for help. And I think it's also really important to share with your friends what you're actually navigating through and going through. I know during this quarantine, I had the opportunity to meet up with some friends from college that I haven't seen in about 3 years. And these rats, these boys, these gents, like, it's amazing to see where they're at. But it was really profound and beautiful for me to admit the truth of where I once was, because they saw me at my shit, and where I am now, and share that and speak that openly and unapologetically with conviction. Because just remember, the friends that matter, they won't mind, and the friends that mind, they don't matter, right? And so the ones that really care about you, they're going to have actually a deeper level of respect for you if you're reaching out and asking for that help, if you're being genuine and sharing from that space of authenticity, where you've been, what you're navigating through, what you're going through. So this is just the time for you to step more into your truth, because the sooner you step into your truth, the sooner you'll also see truth being exposed into the world. And I think that's what I'm navigating through, and what I'm seeing is that now that I'm here being more embodied in my truth and being unapologetic about what I've had to navigate through, where I've been, where I fucked up in the past, where I could have done better, I'm seeing the truth being exposed, because the like attracts that like in that way. And so this is just the time to be in your sovereign power, and to be in your authentic space, and to be in your truth. And again, share it with conviction, and nothing outside of you will steer that away from you. So 2020, this is the time where the truth is being exposed, right? And we're in a 4-year, this is the neutral mind, seeing both sides of the coin to recognize it's the coin. And from this space, again, having mercy and compassion. If there's someone that's reaching out and like attacking you for something you've shared maybe on social media or whatever, give yourself that opportunity to be in that hawk perspective, and to look at them and be like, okay, they're projecting their own pain onto me, for instance, right? And what does this stem from? And then go back and again, shower that person with love. That's what I've been doing a lot, as I've been getting attacked on Facebook for exposing the truth or sharing my opinion about what's going on. And I'm just seeing that there's a lot of unprocessed trauma and emotions in people that may not be in your inner circle, but are still acquaintances or part of your family or whatever. And the more that we're able to be compassionate and merciful to them, the sooner that we're going to be able to see that and recognize that in our reality. And so that's why I posted that on my my Instagram feed, the Kundalini meditation for mercy and compassion. So if you haven't yet, go check it out. Also, if you want to be part of Thrive, I'm very excited for this round, and I've revamped it a lot. We're doing the deep work, setting the intentions. We're focusing on deprogramming from the false light, and really reclaiming your own power from your childhood, your lineage, and what it takes for you to go out there and be fully embodied in your truth, so that you can go forth and activate the sacred disruptors. So because of quarantine, I've lowered the price tremendously. Again, at pay in full, you can do $497 or 2 monthly payments of $297. And with that, you're also getting a bonus of the Mystic Planner. And you are getting 4 group coaching calls with me. We have our first one starting the 18th of August, which is going to be very exciting. So every other week we have a group coaching call, and you're getting 8 pre-recorded videos for Kundalini meditations, weekly reflections, and we're going to have a Facebook support group so that we can really blast that platform with so much love, because it is a cesspool. And it's been really hard for me to connect with Facebook, because I see how much like shit is going on. And then I heard that Mark Zuckerberg is like buying a ton of land in Hawaii, and he's trying to take over sacred lands. Like, we need to alchemize the shit out of these platforms with the purest intention and the purest love to really shake shit up, because social media, the internet, is now part of our human reality, and I don't believe it's going anywhere anytime soon. And it's still so in its infancy stages compared to, the lifetimes and the centuries of humanity. And so this is our time again to really set precedent and pave the path and really plant the seeds of intention and purity and love. And this is what is part of this wild, wild activation that is 2020. So remember, if you haven't, to please subscribe and leave a rating and review. If you listen on iTunes, we greatly appreciate it. And share this episode with your friends. And make sure you take a screenshot and tag me at Sabrina Riccio, tag the podcast at Sovereign Society Podcast on Instagram. Use the hashtag Unleash Your Medicine. I want to see who's listening again. I want to see and cultivate this relationship together. Because I do believe that, this is the time for us to really unleash our medicine with the world and to implement the change, not just for us, but for the future generations to come. And that's what's really driving me with this space and this platform and the work that I do. So again, next week, I'm going to be talking more about the reptilians. And I got that download a while ago, and I'm excited for you guys to understand deeper how we can continue to win the spiritual war that we're going through, this war on consciousness, and really activate that 5D as the baseline and continue to soar higher as the multidimensional beings we are. Because what's happening right now is that we are trapped in this 4D time reality. And so we need to continue to work through this in order to ascend to this unity consciousness where peace and love prevail. And that starts within us. So we need to find that inner peace. And we need to find that unconditional love for ourselves first. And that's why I'm bringing back Thrive. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it again with the biweekly group coaching call. So this is a very big opportunity. And people who've gone through this experience it's been amazing to see how they've evolved from this. So again, welcome back. I'm excited to be here sharing the medicine with you. I'm promising to also bring you more solo episodes. I have a couple guests coming on in the near future, but I do miss sharing these solo episodes with you, and these are also on YouTube. So check out my YouTube, youtube.com/Sabrina Riccio, because I'm also going to be doing, let alone this episode's here on YouTube, but I'm also going to be doing weekly YouTube videos as well. So there's a lot of things brewing here so that I can continue to deliver the medicine with you. And thank you all for joining me. I got 10K on Instagram, and I'm just stoked that I can share with you more of the medicine with that beautiful swipe up, because it's not about the number as much as it is that I get to share the medicine and reach you all. So I love you all. Welcome back. And I'm excited to see how this journey continues to unfold. So I'll be seeing you soon. Take care. Sat Nam.